Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Let's Talk Movies. In this episode, I will be talking about the movie Black Widow. So, before I start, as usual, spoiler alert for those who have not seen it. Okay? So, Black Widow is a 2021 American superhero film based on, obviously, the Marvel Comics, featuring the character of the same name. It is the 24th film, or the 24th installment in the Marvel Cinematic Universe, the MCU. It was directed by Kate Shortland, and it stars Scarlett Johansson as Natasha Romanoff, Black Widow, Florence Pugh as Yelena Belova, David Harbour as Alexei Shostakov, aka the Red Guardian, Oti Fagbini as Rick Mason. There is also Rachel Weisz as Milena Vostokov, another Black Widow. So, this movie takes place after the events of Civil War, because obviously we never saw what happened to Black Widow, to Natasha and Steve after the whole Civil War thing. So it was a really good thing to see what happened to them, after the whole Civil War thing had happened, and them obviously going on the run. So I will not be exposing or spoiling a lot in this film, because obviously I don't want to spoil you guys, so I don't really want to talk about everything that happened in the movie. But obviously this follows Natasha Romanoff after she becomes a fugitive because she violated the Sokovia Accords. So she escapes from Thaddeus Ross. Ross. I don't know how to pronounce his name. He pisses me off anyway, so I don't really care. So she flies to a safe house in Norway, and that's where the events of the movie start, because her past hunts her and now she's forced to face it. What I mean by her past is, whatever happened to her in the Red Room, because we only got a brief explanation in Age of Ultron when she was talking to Bruce Banner about what happened to her in the Red Room, and obviously that little nightmare sequence that we saw. So we don't know what really really happened to her. And in this movie, it goes in depth, more in depth about whatever happened to her in there. So it was pretty good to see her past, because we also got to know, which I will talk about later, but we also got to know what really happened in Budapest. That ongoing joke that was in the MCU for years between Natasha and Clint Barton, obviously Hawkeye. So this movie follows the past of Natasha Romanoff. We see where she came from, what happened to her, how did she even become a Black Widow, and obviously, because we know about, Dreykov, the other character that was mentioned, was first mentioned in the first Avengers movie when she was talking to Loki in his cell. So that was also something that, mentioned in the MCU, and it just passed by. We didn't know why, or who was Dreykov and who was his daughter. You know, we didn't know all of that stuff. So the fact that we got to see it in this movie is absolutely incredible. And I was pretty excited about this movie, and yet it exceeded all my expectations. I mean, personally, I would have preferred if this movie came out like in phase one, because, like, you know, everybody got their movies in phase one, even Hawkeye too, because I feel like um um like you know, like I was saying, Clint and Natasha are, well, even Bruce Banner, um they're like the three most underrated characters in the original six. You know, Thor, Iron Man, Captain America, her, Clint, and Bruce. In the original six, Clint and Natasha are the most underrated, and they never got their own movie in phase one, which I think is a humiliation, to be honest. This is my opinion, don't come for me. I think the Black Widow movie should have, like, it should have came out like in the phase one, or at least if it's not in phase one, since this is like installed after Civil War, it should have came out after Civil War, maybe in 2016, late 2016 or 2017. Like, I don't know why. Well, actually, I do know why they were late. Listen, we're not gonna go in depth about the misogyny that was in Marvel Studios, so we're not really gonna discuss that. Hence why, you know, Black Widow, Natasha never got her movie in phase one. We all know why. So yeah, they should have like made that in the first in phase one, in the first phase of the MCU, or at least the second phase, because everybody else got movies except for her, and now we only got one. And it's like, she already passed away in the MCU, so there's no way they're gonna add another sequel or whatever that is, because there is no way we're not gonna be able to see her ever again, and that really annoys me. Like, it really, really annoys me. I really, really hate that. So yeah, like I was saying, we know what happened and how Black Widow joined S.H.I.E.L.D. in the first place, because obviously we didn't know like how she went from being the most like ruthless spy and assassin in the world to becoming a S.H.I.E.L.D. agent. We never got to know the transition between the two, and in this movie we got to know that. But we also met with new characters, and I'm telling you guys, the characters in this movie are hilarious. Alexei is like, he's stupidly hilarious. I loved the jokes and everything in this movie. Obviously we got Yelena Belova, who is like, I don't know if this is for sure, but I feel like she will take Natasha's place. Obviously there are like always, like in every Marvel film, you have to stay until the post-credit scene. Like, I think we at this point, if you don't stay until the post-credit scene, you're just fooling yourself. So there are post-credit scenes in this movie. There are 2 post-credit scenes, and you absolutely have to stay and watch them, because if you watch The Falcon and the Winter Soldier, you will know why I told you to stay until the post-credit scene. So those 2 scenes are absolutely emotional, but they're also hilarious. So I'm actually, yeah, you definitely have to stay until you watch them. And I was talking about Yelena Belova, who is her sister. Well, not really her sister, but you know what I mean. She grew up with her, and they protected each other. So the fact that reunion was funny, but also it was really heartbreaking almost. It was really good to at least see another dynamic duo, another brother, another siblings. That's what I wanted to say. Another siblings in the MCU, other than obviously Thor and Loki and every other character. So Yelena was perfectly cast. It was perfectly cast. Florence Pugh is one of the most amazing actresses, like upcoming actresses. Well, I shouldn't say upcoming because she actually did a bunch of movies that were absolutely amazing. So, and I do recommend you guys go watch those movies, like Little Women and other projects. They were really good. So, her playing Yelena is really, really amazing, and they casted her perfectly. So yeah, I know a lot of people did not like the Taskmaster. Obviously, like I said, I'm not gonna spoil anything, but a lot of people did not like the take of Black Master. Wow, Taskmaster in this movie. I'm not gonna argue with them and tell them that they're wrong or anything, because everyone has their own opinion. But personally, I loved the approach of Taskmaster. It explains a lot. And also, see, this is what I hate. The fact that I can't talk about the details of the movie, like, you know, it makes me... Yeah, because there are some deleted scenes. So, again, if you guys ever watch this movie and you go through the post-credit scenes, you should go to YouTube and like Google the deleted scenes in this movie, because they were absolutely incredible, and like they were really, really great. And personally, I thought that they should have like kept them in the movie, because I mean, it wouldn't have added that much. I mean, it's already like a 2-hour movie, I think, like 2 hour something movie. So I'm like, you know, they should have kept them. It wouldn't have added that much in like time. They should have kept them, but you know, I just looked, it's like 134 minutes. So like 2 hours and something. 2 hours, 5 minutes, 2 hours something. They should have left them. They should have kept them, because they were really good. But yeah, this movie was absolutely the closure we needed. Like, especially after the whole Endgame thing where, you know, she jumped instead of Clint, which, by the way, if you're a Clint hater, don't listen to my podcasts, because you will not like me. So don't listen to them. If you're a Clint hater and you think he should have been Clint, don't listen to my podcast. So, like I was saying, this movie was the closure we needed as Black Widow fans, especially after the events of Endgame. So, yeah, it was a really beautiful movie and a really beautiful ending of such a beautiful character. So, yeah, I absolutely recommend you guys. I feel like at this point you would know me. You know me, and most of my friends here know me. I am a huge Marvel fan, so I feel like any Marvel project, I would absolutely recommend you guys to watch it, because it's Marvel. So like, duh. Yeah, but yeah, absolutely. I would absolutely recommend you guys watch this movie. It is fun. It is funny. There are a lot of action sequences, perfect action sequences, with like perfectly timed jokes, and I love that. So, yeah, I absolutely recommend you guys watch this movie. Yeah, and that's it. Thank you guys so much for tuning in this episode, and I will see you next time. Bye.